Hi, welcome back once again to the I Heart Mess YouTube channel. I'm Emily Kirkpatrick, a professional fashion writer and purveyor of bad opinions on even worse outfits. Today, we're going to take a look at all of the most appalling things I saw in the month of May, including Justin Bieber's new pant silhouette, all of the stupid new dress code rules at the Cannes Film Festival, a Julia Fox free bleeding update, and a rundown of the most major fashions on the Pornhub Awards red carpet. There's a lot to get into today, so let's take a gander. Before we can move on from the Met Gala once and for all and put this event in our cultural rearview mirror, I just wanted to bring two final details to your attention that I feel were wildly overlooked in the hustle and bustle of that content factory. The first is this outfit Tyla wore to a pre-Met Gala party that absolutely should have been her look for the Met Gala instead of that striped Jacquemus gown she ended up wearing. Another supposed homage to Andre Leon Talley that night that I think did the late fashion deity more disrespect than honor. This, however, executed the night's dandy theme to a T and also set my expectations way too high for what else this gala had in store for us. This look is from British-Nigerian designer Tolu Coker's Fall 2025 collection, and I love absolutely everything about it. The color, the contrasting layered stripes, the gorgeous construction of the collar, the sleeves, and this built-in corset cinching the waist. And of course, the Pharrell-esque hat with the gold hoops just ups the dandy factor into the stratosphere. I do wish Tyla had chosen a slightly more interesting pair of shoes to wear with all of this, but overall, I can't complain. And the final Met Gala detail that demands our discussion today is this custom ring Rocky debuted as an after-party that features a miniature statuette of Rihanna. Truly a sight to behold. Don't get me wrong, this high-priced bauble is quite ugly, but it's also exactly the level of obsession and adoration that Rihanna deserves from a man. Nothing less than building solid gold idols of this woman to worship will do. That said, Rocky and Jason of Beverly Hills, who helped him design this ring, need to seriously reconsider the face they etched onto this miniature. And quick, because it's a serious jump scare. Also, everyone was talking about the ring, but no one was talking about the most interesting part of it to me, which is the revelation that Rocky's nickname for Rihanna is Poochie. And meanwhile, Poochie was out there demonstrating exactly why this level of obsession is so warranted. Walking around the streets of New York City in this easy Martine Rose pregnancy fit that makes Rihanna look like the coolest kid in 7th grade, accessorized with a shearling Fendi bag shaped like a real French baguette. All month, I've been joking around in my newsletter about Justin Bieber's new preferred pant length, as the pop star has been exclusively wearing trousers designed for a man about 1.5 feet taller than he is. He's demonstrated a penchant for pants that are a tripping hazard and trail about a foot behind him, but Justin recently articulated the sweet motivation behind the styling peccadillo, and now I have to officially take back every joke I've ever made about his stupidly large pants collection. Bieber shared a viral tweet on his Instagram stories that read, "Holding my huge baggy pants like a princess in a gown when I walk downstairs," adding, "I finally feel seen, LMAO." The confession came shortly after Bieber posted a number of images of himself grabbing fistfuls of his own bottoms while tromping through the fields of Iceland. And while it may look a little foolish, I do want JB to feel like a princess in a gown when he walks down the stairs. Hell, I want him to just pull a Harry Styles and wear the damn gown already. Which reminds me, while this is likely overly hopeful thinking on my part, there does seem to be something vaguely genderqueer brewing out there when it comes to celebrity menswear. Because while Bieber is fantasizing about his jeans transforming into a maxi skirt, Alexander Skarsgård attended the premiere of his new show Murderbot in what is basically a structured gown of an overcoat from Calvin Klein collection. And on a morning talk show, Alex also wore a SS Daily short shorts and loafers combo that I swear both Emma Corrin and Kristen Stewart have worn almost identical versions of in the past. Makes sense considering the actor is working with stylist Harry Lambert on this press tour, who famously helped Harry Styles launch his own androgynous Bowie era. As long as I don't have to see Christian Siriano putting any more male actors in generic ball gown prom skirts, I'm all for it. I'd now like to speak to you about the very foolish updates recently made to the Cannes Film Festival's dress code. I can't think of any other event that is as obsessed with controlling what famous women wear to this degree. Even the Met Gala isn't this strict about its red carpet. This year, the festival caused quite a stir with an update to their charter that declared, "Voluminous outfits, in particular those with a large train that hinder the proper flow of traffic of guests and complicate seating in the Grand Théâtre Lumière, are not allowed." Halle Berry was the first star to fall victim to this new dress code, as she revealed she wasn't allowed to wear the Gaurav Gupta gown she had planned to wear to opening night because of its train. She later wore that dress to a chopard dinner held during the festival, and I was incensed anew to discover that this train that was deemed too long for the Cannes carpet was all of 3 feet maximum. This charter update also included a clause stating that there will be no more nudity on the red carpet, something the festival with its bevy of supermodel guests has become famous for. This is the south of France after all. Showing a little nipple really shouldn't be all that controversial. It's nothing you won't see on Le Croisette every single day. A representative for the festival told The Hollywood Reporter that the objective is not to regulate attire per se, but to prohibit full nudity on the carpet, in accordance with the festival's framework and French law. It feels like they're trying to preempt another Bianca Censori Grammys moment from happening, even though that doesn't seem like something they realistically need to fear. To my mind, this is also a very obvious and direct response to that actress Maciel Tavares, who attended the festival last year in a dress with an unbelievably long train featuring a very depressing and gaunt portrait of Jesus. Because of this outfit, she then proceeded to get in a physical altercation with that one security guard lady who was fighting with every famous person on the red carpet stairs last year. And much like their own overzealous employee, in an attempt to stop this from happening ever again and generating more negative press for the event, the film festival has now likewise had an extreme overreaction that is completely misplaced. Is the committee aware that they are running a red carpet that famously features a substantial set of stairs? Because you know what looks fantastic on stairs? Dress trains. Long ones, in fact. And you know what generates tons of free press coverage every single year for this hoity-toity film event that would otherwise receive zero attention from American tabloids? Incredibly naked supermodels and A-list actresses attending these premieres. I don't understand the point of shooting oneself in the foot in this way just to try and maintain a veneer of old Hollywood glamour that is already long over. I actually expected much more of an aesthetic protest to these new, weird, puritanical rules, like when Cannes tried to enforce high heels as the only acceptable footwear. While this stiletto mandate doesn't officially appear in the charter, it was considered an unspoken rule at the festival. Even as recently as 2019, Variety's former editor-in-chief tweeted that a security guard almost didn't let her into a premiere because she was wearing flats. In the past, actors like Julia Roberts, Pamela Anderson, and Kristen Stewart have all taken off their heels on the red carpet and walked barefoot in protest of this rule. And in 2017, Stewart told The Hollywood Reporter, "If you're not asking guys to wear heels in a dress, you cannot ask me either." Now, the real question is, who will be the first A-lister brave enough to free the nipple at Cannes all over again? While these new rules put a serious damper on this typically scantily clad fashion bonanza, there were a handful of looks that stood out to me, mostly for not-so-great reasons. One such ensemble was Coco Rocha's Yonut Razvan gown. I hate this stack of faux shirt plackets. I think the layers upon layers of button-up collars are corny in a Balenciaga recreating the Joey Tribbiani coat kind of way. I also hate that the collars are all different lengths and don't even get longer in ascending order. But I did just want to say that this is exactly the type of low-hanging fashion fruit I expect the Gap Studio Atelier to be churning out. Much like how I mistakenly assumed Anne Hathaway's Met Gala look was a Gap Studio homage to Sharon Stone's iconic Gap button-up at the Oscars, it just seems to me like for a brand synonymous with a basic Oxford, they sure are missing out on a lot of very obvious red carpet moments in which they could be inserting themselves. And in case you missed the memo, the designer Demna has officially left the building Chez Balenciaga, and the brand is clearly cycling through the remaining dregs of his designs before Pierpaolo Piccioli steps in to save the day. Because while typically Isabelle Hubert's level of innate French chicness can make any outfit work, not even she can pull off this attempt at a black-tie Canadian tuxedo. No matter how cool Isabella may be, it cannot distract me from the fact that this is just a denim maxi skirt and a backwards jean jacket, and no mega carat brooch will change that. And once again, you're telling me Cannes is busily legislating the length of dress trains, heights of heels, and levels of flesh that can be exposed, and never once thought to say, hey, how about we attempt to wrangle frayed denim off our red carpet as well? While we're at it, why not outlaw hideous dresses at large? If we're going to regulate glamour, let's really start regulating, folks. Thankfully, famous ladies still found ways to peacock around this pointlessly strict dress code. Case in point, Emma Stone in this Louis Vuitton gown she wore to the premiere of her film Eddington. The brand finally figured out how to make an attractive version of that thatched cottage roof they kept inflicting on every celebrity spokesmodel back in 2022. The addition of this couture dentist office lead apron crossed with a lobster bib takes this dress from totally forgettable to perfectly of the moment. It's freaky and chic all at the same time. It's the Dadaist geometric shape trend from award show season flattened back into the 2D realm. Edwin A. Abbott would be proud. Speaking of sculptural neck flourishes, this seemed to be another little trend that emerged from this year's Cannes Film Festival. Elle Fanning's Givenchy blazer featured a lapel that stood dramatically up and off the body. I like the way it makes the wearer look slightly adrift in their own garment, like we're watching a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids moment transpire before our very eyes. It also reminds me vaguely of that influencer's pannier jeans we looked at last month, in that it creates a similar sensation that the wearer is but a passenger aboard the vessel that is their own outfit. It's very reminiscent of those Jonathan Anderson paper doll dresses I've shown you before. I was also intrigued by the flying nun-inspired epaulettes on this dress Paris Jackson wore to the Amphar Gala. It reminds me a bit of the undercover look Hunter Schafer wore to that pre-Met Gala dinner with the button-laden cupid wings poking out the back, or that Count Dracula collar Cynthia Erivo wore to the Oscars. While I love this extremely widespread flyaway neckline, I do think it deserves to be attached to a much, much simpler garment in order to let this statement piece really shine. All this talk of winged elements is also making me wonder if these are poised to replace the panier as the double-wide garment du jour. Only time will tell. This month, I saw a couple of bumper car-shaped gowns out there on the red carpet that I can't help but feel partially responsible for. Much as with Irina Shayk's anti-gravity bra from March, my disturbed fashion utterances online have once again manifested with a vengeance into tangible, real-world designs. With great power comes great responsibility, and clearly I've been abusing mine. Model Shanina Shaikh, previously of lumberjack Rockestack fame, wore a Sophie Couture dress to the Cannes Film Festival that gave a sort of chips and dip platter take on the Dadaist trend, with a sombrero-shaped element encircling her waist. Personally, I think this dress would be a lot better if the ring was even wider yet, and all these embellished bits make me wish that this was even more of a chandelier situation with the crystals fully dangling off the underside of this shelf. As for Megan Thee Stallion, she wore a custom look by Chinese designer Quine Lee to the Gold Gala that doesn't really work, but I do think is headed in an interesting built-in flotation device direction. I think things would start to get a lot better if this lace body stocking either didn't exist, was a solid mesh fabric, or wasn't made of a lace that reads on camera as though it's riddled with moth holes. Although I will add, it would be a lot cooler and very McQueen if that was actually the case and this gown was in a state of elegant degradation. It could also be that these two body bolsters just demand a little more distance between them, especially as the breasts act as a type of bolster all on their own. I think even just moving this belly roll from the knees to the hem could change this whole look around. But while Meg may not have totally nailed it with this one, overall I'm here for this new plush, sculptural era of dressing. The American Music Awards took place this month and it has got to be the snooziest of all the music-centric award show ceremonies. This year, Jennifer Lopez was the host for some reason, most likely so that we would all have to watch as she did 10 outfit changes throughout the night. Most were pretty par for the course, but there were two I thought were worth quickly pointing out. There was the extremely J-Lo-coated Minot sequin jumpsuit that featured a little trend I wrote about back in April of last year, visible butt crack. And while this hint of intergluteal cleft cleavage feels like Jen's bid to launch Google Images 2.0, unfortunately nobody took the bait as way too much has already been indecently exposed at this point for anyone to care. Interestingly, there was another pop star who also took this evening as an opportunity to get her cheeks out, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. As for this David Coma Fall 2025 gown, I think the color is fantastic. But we keep seeing this type of exaggerated protruding hip bone from designers like Balenciaga and Schiaparelli, and I have to admit they make me feel a little queasy. While this is obviously yet another facet of the build-a-body movement, these particular hyperreal silhouettes also feel not all that different to some of the plastic surgery-enhanced beauty standards we've seen popularized over the last decade. And in a time of Ozempic, when hip bones are increasingly protruding in this manner, this design trend feels like it could be laying the groundwork for some newly invented beauty standard like the BBL or the thigh brow before it. Personally, if we're going to enhance pelvic bones, I prefer something a touch more fantastical, like the horned pelvis Palm Clemente for to Cannes the other week, but I'll get to her recent red carpet star turn in a minute. A micro trend I noticed from the AMA red carpet is that after Hollywood's recent areola overload, born out of the Saint Laurent Fall 2024 collection, we appear to have circled all the way back to visible pasties again. Both rappers Sexy Red and SZA decided to pull a Doja Cat at the 2024 Grammys by letting their glittery star-shaped nipple stickers peek out over the neckline of their tops. I think Doja's bare-chested iteration is much more transgressive and interesting, but this is fun too. Although it also feels like a missed branding opportunity, why not make the pasties the cover of your latest single? Or pull a Macy Gray and announce the album release date with your chest? SZA's ensemble also featured the double whammy of visible pasties and a visible butt crack. And the second I saw it, I knew this had to be the work of friend of Mess Ellie Meisner, a powerful silhouette to be synonymous with one's brand. You might remember Ellie's crack-heavy work from Katy Perry at the 2024 Billboard Women in Music event. Beyond her outfit, I also really appreciated SZA's dedication to doing an IRL recreation of Kim K's Jean-Paul Goude shoot for Paper magazine, based on Goude's 1976 photograph of Carolina Beaumont. And finally, I'm not familiar with Dora Jar's music, but I am now the biggest fan of her red carpet modeling work. I was going to feature this outfit anyway because I love seeing a piece of practical, weather-appropriate outerwear worn to a formal event. This dash of reality amidst all the award show frippery makes it hit that much harder, and the wearer also smartly secures themselves a night of comfort and leisure. Anyway, when I went to pull Dora's photo from Getty Images, I noticed that she had performed a full America's Next Top Model photo shoot while on the step and repeat that included lunges, side planks, push-ups, and jazz hands. And now she's officially an icon in my book. Tyra Banks is out there smizing somewhere right now. I love a star who isn't afraid to give us a fresh take on Blue Steel. In a surprise to absolutely no one, Julia Fox's crack-bearing antics persisted throughout May. She DJ'd the Cult 100 party at the Guggenheim Museum wearing a pair of assless tighty-whities that did nothing to help dispel those adult baby allegations. And much like her Mad Max bicycle short chaps at Coachella, while I think this butt-centric look is pretty solid, I don't understand why Julia insists on always pairing her lingerie with these shiny, overly tan dance tights. If we're going cheeks out, let's go cheeks all the way out. And then there was the outfit she concocted for this Mien event, a new skincare brand dedicated to, quote, everyday eroticism. To celebrate, Julia got her box out at the box, and shockingly, I love it. I think the t-shirt, peekaboo sarong, and stocking combo is all very chic, and the faux Prada Shield sunglasses absolutely make it. As for the free bleed situation down below, first of all, bravo to Julia for realizing what potent untapped territory the period is for celebrity outrage dressing. But that said, I think this would have been a touch more impactful if she'd pushed it one step further in either the au naturel or ornamental direction. Because I have to assume this is red dye, not actual blood, given the color and the fact that I haven't heard Julia telling every outlet that would listen a story to the contrary. And I just think this whole thing would have been a lot more punk rock if this was the result of Julia actually having her period al fresco. Either that, or I'd like to have seen menstrual blood get the full glam couture treatment by having this stain be made entirely out of intricately embroidered beads and sequins. Just some food for thought for our next brave Menzies warrior. And as always, it wouldn't be a Julia Fox outfit if I didn't hate the choice in shoe and handbag. To be fair, they're not the most offensive pairing I've seen from her lately, so at least we're making some progress. But Julia might want to seriously step up her game because lately Palm Clementif has been making a strong case to become the newest muse to join that elite consortium. This month, she promoted the new Mission Impossible movie wearing a whole bunch of dresses that pertain specifically to my interests. As mentioned earlier, Palm wore a Loewe Fall 2025 gown with some reverse jutting hip horns to the Cannes Film Festival, another very cool, fantastical piece to add to our collection. And while most of you would probably assume I like this metallic fringe ribbon dress she wore to the London premiere because it's extremely naked, I actually like it because it's extremely naked and it could double as a weapon in a pinch. I've long been pro-women's fashion that can also serve as some sort of self-defense tool. Personally, I think this mace dress could be much heavier and even more barbed. And the Maison Margiela Artisanal Spring 2018 plastic sheath dress the actor wore to the film's Japan premiere is also perfect and perfectly weird. I think this nighty sofa slipcover really embodies an idea I talk about a lot in my newsletter, which is the power of building a wardrobe malfunction into a garment, much like Chapel Roan's ripped Ludovic de Saint-Cernin dress we talked about the other month. It's all about making the public feel as though there's a possibility they'll see something they shouldn't. That uncertainty creates a visual tension that automatically makes the whole outfit way more interesting. The Kentucky Derby took place this month, which of course means we were all treated to a sea of Southern ladies in very silly little hats. But of all the flamboyant headgear I saw out there at that event, this soft cheese fascinator worn by Gail Simmons was by far my favorite. I think it serves as an important reminder that not only are we not getting nearly enough statement chapeaus on major red carpets, but we've barely even scratched the surface on conceptual and interactive millinery work. I think the only way Gail could possibly top herself is by going full edible arrangements charcuterie board with it next year. I also think Rhee's Fendi handbag would pair gorgeously with this faux wheel of brie. I was first introduced to Tommy Cash thanks to this year's Eurovision, where he performed his instant smash hit Espresso Macchiato on behalf of Estonia. Tommy's immaculate costume and choreography for that single inspired me to do a deep dive into his Instagram persona, and I've since come to discover that this guy is exactly my cup of tea when it comes to famed performance artists. Everything about this character he plays is so fully considered, executed at the highest level, and with the most gorgeous taste, even if all of his music videos do seem tailor-made to give me nightmares. Even scarier yet, as I was scrolling, I started to realize that this man has done every trend I've ever spoken about in my newsletter, and he's done them all years ago. From adult babies to full-body prosthetic muscle suits and biblically accurate Barbiecore. Unsurprisingly, he's also a longtime muse to Rick Owens. Hell, he's my muse now too after everything I've seen. Tommy, call me. And finally, I wanted to briefly recap for you all one of my favorite red carpets of the year, the Pornhub Awards. We'll begin with easily the most fun trend of the night, the codpiece. I think this red carpet perfectly demonstrated just how versatile one of these modesty panels can actually be. This is also an elegant solution to the Bianca Sensori problem, as it allows the wearer to show off as much of their physique as possible while still keeping their labia technically contained. While all of these pubis protectors were good, this one made of a metallic pink belt buckle has got to be one of the best looks of the night. I love the way the codpiece matches the sheriff star pasties and the element affixing these mini horns to her micro crop top. All of that would already be enough all on its own, but the lavender fur lined in faux dollar bills really perfectly ties this gift of an outfit up in a bow. Something else I really enjoyed was that not one, but two gentlemen porn stars heard about this ceremony's Western theme and decided to take that as their opportunity to live out all of their rodeo clown fantasies. I applaud both on their commitment to their Harlequin craft. They look incredible. And much like when I spotted ICP at the VMAs in those gorgeous bespoke suits, it got me thinking again that men need to start dipping more heavily into the face paint. We must foster a culture of clown drag acceptance. I'm not saying it necessarily has to be all out like these two jesters, but perhaps a star eye here, a circle nose there, just to get things started. Plus, I feel like there's an alpha bro manosphere tactic here we could be taking to trick men into embracing all of this makeup. After all, what's more rugged and testosterone pumping than Kiss singing rock and roll all night? The Pornhub Awards also reminded me that furry cowboy hats like this not only exist, but were once outrageously popular in my Y2K youth. I'm now very interested to know how this particular style of plush headwear dominated the aughts cultural zeitgeist. And I just wanted to highlight this outfit because I find it to be extremely brat with a dash of Chloe Sevigny insouciance. The feedback loop between the adult entertainment industry and A-list pop stars grows smaller by the day. I also love this high glam goth adult film actor. She looks like Helena Bonham Carter in Fight Club. And this barbed PVC corset looks like one of those neon spike ball belly button piercings. Now, when I tell you this outfit stopped me dead in my scroll, this would be outrageously stylish for any award show, let alone one sponsored by Pornhub. It hits the perfect note of sexy and sophisticated. Someone get this image on Hedy Slimaine's desk immediately. I feel like he'd go nuts for this woman. It's like a cowboy take on his first Saint Laurent collection. And I feel like the addition of the Celine shoulder bag, the brand the creative director just left in October, only confirms this woman as a legit Hedy stan. Chic. But while that outfit is stunning, this rope-based ensemble was my best dressed of the night. It perfectly balances the theme, the industry they're there to celebrate, and extreme luxury. I saw a number of ropes and lassos used as props on this step and repeat, but none that were knotted up into a full outfit shibari style like this one. And now that I've seen it, I also can't believe shibari robe outfits haven't been adopted more widely by famous people yet. It's perfect outrage fodder. Combine that with the loud luxury of a big fur coat and a little Birkin bag, and that's what we call the yin-yang of mess. If you're interested in hearing even more of my thoughts on this fabulous red carpet, make sure to sign up for my newsletter at iheartmess.com where you can read all about it. Okay, that's everything moderately interesting I have to share with you this month. If you were delighted or disgusted by what you've seen here today, I highly recommend that you like, subscribe, sign up for a membership, and generally sound the alarm about this YouTube channel. If you want even more tomfoolery, you can always sign up for my weekly Substack newsletter at iheartmess.com. The link will be in the caption below. I'll see you back here next month with even more pertinent apparel. Bye.